Hey everyone, it's what's the 19th?
19th of November.
19th of November. I'm already forgetting what dates it is. It's only been a week on the road. I'm still in Vancouver BC, British Columbia, Canada, and I am at Champions Martial Arts with the birthday boy, Sean Lindsay. How's it going?
Good. It's so nice to finally meet you. So.
Yeah, I heard such good things from Sunshine Coast guys. Happy to finally come out here, be on the mats with you. Thanks for on your birthday being able to sit down and doing this with me.
Man, there's nothing I would rather do on my birthday than just be sharing jiu-jitsu with my family and friends. And my brother came down from Sadohana, where you were training, and I mean, he was my first training partner when I was a kid. We'd watch Bloodsport and WWF, and as soon as our parents would leave the house, we'd pull out like a futon mattress and start beating each other up on it. So
I'm pretty sure everyone who had a brother did that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's pretty much what my older brother and I did. He didn't continue the martial arts like I did, so we don't wrestle anymore. But, but yeah, how will you tell us about that? How did you get into jiu-jitsu?
Man, I guess it was almost 7 years ago to the day that I started training, putting my gi on for the first time. At the time, I was doing like construction work and just living like a pretty like a cycle of a life. Like I would just go to work, get paid, didn't really do anything productive or healthy or anything like that for myself, and I really just wanted to find something that I could be passionate about, something that was mine. And me and my brothers, like I said, we always kind of like wrestled growing up. I remember seeing like UFC 2 at one of my dad's friends' houses with my brothers on like VHS, and we were big MMA fans. And when it came time to find something, I lived just a few blocks from here at the time, and I walked down, and I don't even think I did like an intro class. I was just like so sure I was going to sign up. I was just like, where do I pay? And that was pretty much it. That was the start.
Awesome. So this has been your home club the whole time?
Yeah, for 100%. I started my journey here, and we had numerous instructors for the first like year and a half. We had one class a week on Saturdays, and so it was very, very limited. Yeah. And it actually broke my hand kickboxing pretty early on. So until I started training under Sensei Giacomo, who started teaching here a little over 5 years ago. I would say all that previous year and a half probably amounted to no more than like 2 months of training, because it was like 2 hours a week, and that's not very much for progression for jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. You have to force yourself to have a lot of contemplation, I guess, during the week when starting off like that.
Yeah, if someone caught you and it was bothering you, you had a lot of time to sit and think about it before you had a chance to redeem yourself.
Yeah. So yeah, I was curious about that after talking with Giacomo, and before coming out here was how it worked out that you train and teach here. Yeah. And Giacomo's you guys is black belt, right? So do you also train over at his place in Coquitlam?
Yeah, that's actually it's all I do. I don't have like a day job or anything like that. I teach here Monday, Wednesday nights. And Saturdays, and we have Coach Matt and Coach Mike who do Tuesday, Thursdays, and Fridays. Yeah. And then I'm out in Coquitlam teaching the kids classes Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. And we have like open mats in the day and stuff like that. So I do a lot of just opening up the doors, mop the mats, close the doors, and it's I'm pretty. I feel pretty privileged to just be able to do jiu-jitsu all the time and that's like my whole life. So
that's cool. That is dream good job. I'm sure for a lot of people watching this, to have that just the jiu-jitsu to worry about, nothing else.
Yeah, it took a long time to get there for sure. It's only been since March that I've been in this setup. Before, I was doing like more admin here at Champions and managing the school full time. But definitely doing jiu-jitsu full time was a goal of mine for a while. And I think just like anything else, if you just keep pursuing it and putting one foot in front of the other, you're eventually gonna get there. And so it's been a really interesting year, a fun year, a lot of change, and naturally I don't embrace change well, and I think that's natural for a lot of people. But Sensei Giacomo has really helped me with that a lot, and instead of being scared of change, really embracing it, and just understanding that stability is kind of an illusion, and that everything is changing and evolving, whether we want to go with that or not. And it's best just to kind of flow with the go on that one. So I think.
Well, it's funny. I think maybe training in jiu-jitsu helps in that sense because the game itself is always evolving, especially in the last few years. It's just been just like, you can compare Brazilian jiu-jitsu in the last few years as to technology. Just all of a sudden, it leaps and bounds.
Yeah, for sure.
I remember, you're looking back and be like, oh, hey, I had a computer that had like 500 megabytes memory. It's like, that's like the guy that, 10 years ago had like the straight ankle lock that, that was just squeezing down on it, right?
Yeah.
As to like nowadays, you have these terabyte supercomputers, and we have these slick setups and,
whole leg lock systems
exactly,
and everything. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So it's almost, to me anyways, I think maybe jiu-jitsu has helped in that and understanding, things just go with the flow.
100%. Yeah. I agree with you on that.
So you said you did the kids classes.
Yeah.
So are you must be a big advocator for putting kids in martial arts.
The kids are the future of jiu-jitsu, 100%. And one thing I've started to learn, when I started in March, we only had like 5 or 6 kids, and we've got about 20 kids coming to class now. And I mean, they're all different, and they all learn in different ways. And so that's been definitely something is learning to adapt so you can deliver things the way the child learns, right? Because if they're not getting the way that you're teaching, it's up to you as the teacher to find a way that they're going to understand it, whether it's, they learn visually, or if they learn better through auditory and things like that. And so that's been really fun. I'm really passionate about it. Our kids have started competing this year. In the summer, we started actually getting our first girls enrolled with it, which is fantastic. Yeah. And now we have little lady competitors coming out of the kids class. But most of the kids aren't there for competition. They're just there training, day by day, and it's really cool. I think I learn more from them than they do from me. And I definitely feel just more of like a guide, because watching them, I've noticed, man, they know jiu-jitsu already. It's like in their body, it's how they move. They learn so much faster than adults. And so it's more just kind of teaching them the rule set and, how to handle your emotions if you get smashed a few rounds or something, or if a kid, that normally they get the better of in sparring, got the better of them that day. So pretty much just, helping them process their emotions and teach them the rule set. And the rest, they kind of figure out on their own. Like, it's amazing. You see them doing things that it's like, I don't know if their parents are showing them YouTube videos or something, but I'm like, I didn't show them that. and I'm fairly positive they're just figuring it out on their own because they're so aware of their body and everything.
That's cool. That's cool to hear. I've always loved getting kids into martial arts. And it's so hard to explain it to friends sometimes if they don't understand martial arts. But recently I've had a few friends kind of asking for my opinion on it, right? On what art to put them in, or where to go and what. And for me anyways, I try and say, hey, it's about the kid, and it's their happiness and making sure that they're being stimulated in some way, not necessarily just fighting, right? So with that, I was wondering if maybe you had any words you can give to any viewers who are thinking about putting their kids in martial arts, of what to look for.
In a friendly place, first of all, where it provides options, where if the child wants to compete and do tournaments, that they have an avenue to do so, but that it's also not mandatory, because a lot of people don't like to compete, and then that's fine, right? But a place where they can feel safe, where they're not going to worry about getting picked on or feeling bad about themselves or anything like that. I think that's actually why I got back into martial arts as an adult. I was very unathletic as a child. I had like asthma inhaler. I was always like kind of a chubby kid a lot of the time. I didn't feel very comfortable about my body and stuff, and very uncoordinated. And when I tried sports, when I was kind of like already in 5th, 6th grade, the other kids had been doing it for so long, and I was so undeveloped with coordination. I kind of got laughed off a lot of fields and courts, and to a point where I was actually, as a teenager and even into my early 20s, I wouldn't want to try things in front of my friends because I was so embarrassed. Like I would get teased for how I threw a rock, like a lot. But for a short period of time, I did martial arts. I did Sung Hang Do. There was a little dojo in Seashelt at the time under Sean Phillips, who actually has the Gracie Academy up in Gibson's, the other jiu-jitsu school there. And he was my Sung Hang Do instructor. And that was the only time I ever felt good about myself, because I was never compared, you know what I mean? Like, when I played hockey, some of the kids would rip on me. I was not a good skater or anything like that. In martial arts, I showed up, and if I wasn't doing good, it didn't affect anybody. So no one had a reason to pick on you or single you out. And I felt really good. And I think that's why I came back to it in my 20s. It was like, what made me feel good about myself? How, what's something where I'm going to, be encouraged to keep going forward even when it's hard and something like that. And it was definitely martial arts. So.
Yeah, that's cool. That's actually, it's the same kind of idea I have with it, is that I've never felt so accepted as when I'm on the mats, even in the new school. Like today, I only knew a couple people from last night's open mat. We're all meeting them then and rolling, and still, welcomed like it's family kind of thing, right? So, you can't just join on a baseball team and they're like, oh, so what position do you play? And it's having to do with the third degree to kind of get into the sports team, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Even if it's just for fun. Yeah. So, I guess, that answers my next question. I was going to ask you, what does jiu-jitsu mean to you? But you just nailed it right there, right? It's all about finding a place.
Yeah, it's your home, it's your family. I mean, it's my whole life. It's my job. It's my hobby. It's my exercise. It's my stress relief. My brother trains.
Yeah.
My girlfriend's little sister started training in Belgium.
Oh.
Whenever I go visit, I have a family all over who's now getting their kids into martial arts and jiu-jitsu and things like that. And so it's just awesome. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole world.
Yeah, that's cool. How does that? Do you ever have to deal with the stress of that being a job? Because I once had a passion. It was art. I was an artist in Toronto, and it got to me when I decided to make that my job. So that's kind of my fear, anyways. I don't know about anyone else out there about turning your passion into,
That's 100%. I remember I thought about being a chef as a kid because I enjoyed cooking, and it's something that's really stressful once you start doing it professionally, and could potentially suck some of that joy out of it for you. I love it. I mean, this job it's the best job you can have in the world. It doesn't feel like a job. It's just a lifestyle. But it's definitely more work than people think. Like when you're in the academy, you're on the mat. Your sole attention is the students. Teaching class, making sure everybody's safe, making sure the place is clean, customer service, all of that. But there's a lot more that goes in that I think people don't see, which is, there's like anything else. There's when it's a business, there's paperwork. There's a lot of organizing. There's always belt promotions, events, seminars, things like that. A lot of logistics and stuff. So it's definitely more work than people think. I think if you talk to people who own or run or teach at academies, there's a lot that goes on behind the scenes. Even just for an instructor who's coming in and doesn't have the responsibilities of managing the place, they have to have a good instructor is going to be having a lesson plan. They're preparing it before class. They don't just show up and do whatever, right? There's a lot of energy that goes into it from a lot of people. but it hasn't tainted any of it from me. Like, I love it when you're surrounded by good people and you're doing something that you love, and it comes from a place of love, then there's not going to be that negativity. But if you're putting like dollars before people and like sales quotas, all of this kind of stuff, then it's a job. It's going to suck the fun out of it, I think, for you 100%. So I think a lot of it depends on what you prioritize and where you mark success, whether it's on how many students you have, the quality of the training you provide to your students, or your how many paying students you have. That's going to definitely affect how you feel about it. Like if where you set the success bar is having fun with your students and providing a clean place with really legitimate jiu-jitsu that's really friendly, it won't feel like work for you.
It sounds like you have it made. Like, you have everything. Like, you've covered it all. And I'm like with Giacomo. Like, he's so passionate about it as well. I'm looking forward to watching how you guys grow with True North Jiu-Jitsu.
We're very excited about that.
Yeah, I'll be watching you guys. I have one more question. The dreaded last question that people always talk about. So I couldn't really think of something. I kind of put Giacomo on the spot the other night, asking about who he'd love to face off in the finals at Worlds. But I think I'll be a bit more easygoing tonight. And who is your favorite Ninja Turtle?
Raphael.
100%.
I think there's a picture of me from kindergarten, and I had like a Vanilla Ice haircut, and I'm wearing Raphael Ninja Turtle like sweater, sweatpants, and Velcro shoes. I had like everything was Raphael for me as a kid. I even got pet turtles on my 5th birthday, and they were named after the Ninja Turtles. It was 100% Raphael.
I really dug Raphael in the last few years. My first guy was always Michelangelo, but like if I was to see them on the mats, I'd see Raphael as being like the guy that always goes 100%, just steamrolling everyone.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think I'd like him that much.
I identified with him a lot because actually before I started jiu-jitsu, and one of the things it's helped me with as a person a lot was I didn't handle frustration well. I didn't handle pressure well, and I had a lot of anger issues. Some of my friends would joke and like, "Oh, short fuse, Sean," and things like that. And it's really nice. Like 7 years later, that even when your friends say like, "Man, you've changed a lot. Like, you're a really different person." That's like the best paycheck. You know what I mean? Like in the world, that like I bettered myself as a human being. And in the past year, I've gone back to Gibson's. It's a pretty small town when you get there, and I've seen some of my friends' parents and things like that, and they tell you, I'm really proud of you and what you're doing and how far you've come, because I don't think the bar was set very high expectation-wise for myself, just because of the lifestyle I had before jiu-jitsu. I didn't have a lot of goals. I wasn't a very productive person. I wasn't a very positive person. And it gave me so much. Actually, that's how I met my girlfriend. She's my common law wife. We've also been together going on 7 years. She was the front desk girl here at Champions when I first started. And so all of these amazing things have come into my life from pursuing jiu-jitsu. And amazing friendships with all the students, my training partners, the fellow teaching staff. And I've been so blessed. I don't believe in luck, but very, very blessed to have Ingrid Katzberg, who's the owner of Champions, one of the kindest, most moral human beings you'll ever meet in your life, and Sensei Giacomo as mentors, and they've taught me so much, and they've really encouraged me to do the best for myself, and I'm just so lucky, and that all came from pursuing jiu-jitsu. So I kind of see it as my mission now that I have to get back to jiu-jitsu, because it's given me so much in my life. I had never really traveled before, and now I travel every year. I've gone down to Brazil. I go to Europe a lot, and always bring my gi with me. I always find a gym, and I owe all of that to the jiu-jitsu lifestyle. And if I can give anyone any recommendation in their jiu-jitsu journey, it's to do what you're doing. cut the ties and jump 2 feet in. You know what I mean? Like if you don't go in at 100%, you're not going to get out of it 100% of the benefits. You're only going to get what you give. And if you give your best energy and best intentions in jiu-jitsu and be really passionate about it, you're going to get all these amazing benefits. But if you put in the bare minimum and expect the most, I think you're going to set yourself up for disappointment for sure.
So what I got from that is that basically you start off as Raphael, but you're now Leonardo.
I don't know if I would say that, but definitely I think just the natural progression of jiu-jitsu is gaining confidence, which can help in leadership skills. I would maybe say a little bit of both, because I've only been training 7 years, and it's like I had a whole 23 years of bad lifestyle and things like that to outdo. So I think it'll take at least 23 years of training to fully go through a lot of that change for myself. But it's a day-by-day process like anything else. So.
Well, I look forward to seeing you when it gets to that 23-year mark to see what kind of grandmaster you become.
Oh man, I don't. I'm just a purple belt. I don't believe in like a lot of crazy titles or anything like that. Sensei Giacomo, he's my sensei, but outside of the school, he'll look at me funny if I call him that. Like he's like, outside of the school, we're friends. You call me by Giacomo, right? And I think he's incredibly humble. I'm just really fortunate to have him as my instructor. So.
It's you guys seem to just so perfect to be teamed up together. Him as your instructor and you as one of his coaches for the team.
There's a whole slew of guys that are equally as responsible and deserve credit. Coach Eric out at Coquitlam, fantastic instructor. Coach Mike, Coach Matt, they're all guys who, they're a little quieter. I like to talk a lot, and so, but they deserve so much credit because they do a lot of work day in, day out with everybody, and it's a team effort, and there's not one person responsible for it. It's everybody's work, and we really owe it all to the students, because without the students, there's no one for us to share this knowledge with, and so it starts with them and it goes up from there. So
that's cool. That's awesome. It's been a blast. Thank you so much.
Man, thank you so much
for having me on the mats. I've felt so welcome here. I didn't even know, I don't know much about all the clubs in Vancouver, so this was actually just kind of a fly-in. When I contacted you on Tuesday, about coming in. So I was only a couple days ago, and I'm glad I did. It's been so much fun. I will have links up for Champions Martial Arts Academy, right?
Yeah.
And contact them if you're in town. There's also Giacomo's True North Jiu-Jitsu out in Coquitlam that I posted on the video before. Thank you again, Sean.
Thank you so much. It's been a real privilege.
And to all y'all, that's it for today. And till next time, see you on the mats. Oops.